The three moons of Eupash cast their prismatic light across the hidden grove of whispering stones. Here, nestled within the heart of Palmemne's forgotten wilderness, a clandestine gathering was taking place. The air hummed with anticipation, charged with the subtle currents of magic that flowed through all Eupashians. Eppa arrived first, her long robes of midnight blue shimmering with embedded crystals that seemed to capture and hold the moonlight. Her hair, a striking silver with streaks of cerulean, was intricately braided with tiny charms that whispered ancient incantations with each step she took. As High Priestess of the Veiled Coven, she carried herself with quiet dignity, though the weight of her responsibilities had etched fine lines around her luminous eyes. She placed her hand upon the central whispering stone, a massive obelisk of swirling obsidian and quartz, and murmured, "Kintash Vareen Nox." The stone responded with a soft pulse of amber light, acknowledging her presence and activating the sacred space's protective enchantments. Shortly after, the air shimmered and parted like a curtain as Lia-Syr stepped through what appeared to be a tear in reality itself. Her method of travel, dimensional shifting, was a rare gift even among sorceresses. Her eyes, pools of shifting lavender that occasionally revealed glimpses of other realms, surveyed the grove critically. "You've chosen well, Eppa," she said, her voice carrying the strange harmonics of one who speaks in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Hensel's sentinels cannot detect us here. The whispering stones block their scrying." Lia-Syr's attire was practical, yet elegant, form-fitting garments of a material that resembled liquid metal, flowing and adapting to her movements. Around her neck hung a pendant containing what appeared to be a miniature galaxy, swirling with stars and cosmic dust, her dimensional anchor and focus for her considerable powers. The final arrival was more dramatic. A bolt of azure lightning struck the ground before them, and as the light faded, Koojheen stood in its place, his staff of crystallized time-wood gripped firmly in one hand. Unlike the others who concealed their power, Koojheen wore his proudly. His robes were adorned with intricate patterns that shifted and changed, depicting astronomical charts and arcane formulae that rewrote themselves continuously. "Forgive my entrance," he said with a slight bow, his voice deep and resonant. "The patrols in Fin Pi have doubled since yesterday. Bembem's paranoia grows by the hour." The three stood in a triangle around the central stone, their energies intermingling and strengthening the protective ward around them. "The time approaches," Eppa began, her voice calm yet urgent. "The gravitational pull accelerates. Our scientists estimate we have less than 1 Eupashian year before we reach the critical phase. And the Dark Rulers see this as an opportunity rather than a crisis," Lia-Syr added, her eyes momentarily flickering to another dimension before refocusing. "They believe the new orbit will grant them greater power." Koojheen nodded grimly, waving his hand over the stone. A holographic projection materialized above it, displaying the Garlon Solar System and the shifting orbit of Eupash. "They are not entirely wrong," he admitted. "The new proximity to the sun will enhance certain magical channels, particularly those tied to fire and transformation. But they overlook the catastrophic effects on the balance. The minerals of Fin Pi will become unstable. The portals throughout Daño will begin to collapse, and the ether channels of Palmemne will overflow, causing reality fractures. Then our mission is clear," Eppa said, reaching into her robes and withdrawing a small crystalline seed that pulsed with an inner light. "We must overthrow the Dark Rulers before the critical phase, not just to end their tyranny, but to save Eupash itself." The seed she held was a Nexus seed, an incredibly rare artifact capable of connecting the consciousness of thousands simultaneously. It would be essential for coordinating their resistance. "I have supporters within all 3 kingdoms," she continued, "members of my coven who appear loyal to the regimes but await our signal." Lia-Syr's expression was troubled. "Bergen-Syr suspects me already. Yesterday she summoned me to her amber spire and questioned me about dimensional anomalies detected near the resistance safe houses. I diverted her attention, but her trust in me wanes. And I can no longer access the central archives in Fin Pi," Koojheen added. "Bembem has placed Demche guards at every entrance. They are clearly preparing for something." The three fell silent, considering the mounting challenges. Then Eppa stepped forward, placing the Nexus seed at the center of the stone. "We will need allies beyond our borders," she said decisively. "The Hepners have long desired access to our knowledge. If we promise them architectural rights in the new era, they might provide both technology and warriors." "A dangerous gambit," Koojheen warned. "The Hepners have their own agenda." "All allies do," Lia-Syr countered. "But we have little choice. The Eupashian elites are formidable, but they are bound by old codes. We need those willing to break rules to defeat those who have shattered them entirely." As they spoke, the seed began to pulse more rapidly, responding to their unified purpose. Eppa placed her hand over it and whispered, "Vashnir Elembrikarun." The seed split open, revealing a network of glowing filaments that spread across the stone's surface like a web of light. "3 kingdoms, 3 rulers, 3 of us," she said, her eyes reflecting the glow. "Each of us will be responsible for gathering intelligence and supporters within our respective territories. When the triple eclipse comes in 42 days, we will use the Nexus to coordinate our attack." "The triple eclipse," Koojheen mused. "When all 3 moons align and magic is at its most volatile, a fitting time for revolution." "And a dangerous one," Lia-Syr added. "The rulers will be at their strongest too." "But they will also be distracted," Eppa countered. "Each performs their own ritual during the eclipse. They will not expect a coordinated attack across all 3 kingdoms simultaneously." The filaments from the Nexus seed had now formed a complete map of the 3 kingdoms, highlighting potential allies, weapon caches, and strategic locations. The 3 studied it intently, each committing their part to memory. As they concluded their meeting, a distant rumble echoed through the grove. The leaves of the ancient trees trembled and a faint red glow illuminated the horizon. "The gravitational pull manifests physically now," Koojheen observed grimly. "Eupash itself signals its distress." Eppa closed her eyes, communing briefly with the planet's essence. "Eupash has always been more than just our home," she said softly. "It is a living entity, a consciousness that has guided our evolution. It knows the danger it faces, not just from the orbit change, but from the corruption of the dark rulers." Lia-Syr took Eppa's hand, and then Koojheen's, forming a circle around the stone. "Then we fight not just for ourselves, but for Eupash itself, for the future of all who dwell in the Garlon system." Together they spoke an ancient oath, one not uttered in generations. "By stone and star, by blood and breath, we bind ourselves to Eupash's fate. What befalls our world befalls us all. Victory or oblivion, there shall be no middle path." The whispering stone flared brilliantly in response, sealing their pact. As they prepared to depart, Eppa retrieved the now dormant Nexus seed and divided it into 3 fragments, giving one to each of her companions. "When next we meet," she said, "either Eupash will be free, or none of us will live to see its new dawn." Credits the Eupashians and the Garlon Solar System by Olujimi X.